Edo and Italian government don't join body together to tackle illegal migration. To tackle the yamayama things when illegal migration and human trafficking the cause, Edo state government don't get ogbonge collabo with the Italian government and the International Organization for Migration IOM to launch the Managing Migration Through Development Project MMDP 2.0. This project launching shele for Benin City on Tuesday. Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki, when Deputy Governor Right Honorable Comrade Philip Shaibu represents, talk say Edo government don't make ogbonge progress for the fight against illegal migration and human trafficking. Obaseki when talk say Edo people na hardworking people, costing and say the reason why youths they find greener pasture for Bodo na sake of the neglect from government.
On behalf of the Governor of Edo State, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, I am delighted to welcome distinguished guests, dignitaries and members of diplomatic corps gathered today for this auspicious occasion, which have provided us the opportunity to chart a new path of support and collaboration to strengthen the mandate of tackling illegal migration and human trafficking in Edo State. In the course of the last 6 years, we have welcomed very impactful partnership from different stakeholders within the country and the global community for the onerous task of reversing the trend of illegal migration and human trafficking in our state. Today, I can confidently say to all gathered here that we have made remarkable progress in this mission. We have boldly said that we have created a solid institutional and legal framework as well as several vehicles and initiatives to support our various youthful and aspiration. We have now found a purpose in doing the right things and exploring legal means to making decent livelihood within and outside the country. When we came to office in 2016, Edo State had a notorious reputation of being one of the primary source of illegal immigrants attempting to cross into Europe through the Mediterranean Sea. For us, this was not acceptable, as it posed an essential and reputational risk for us as a people and as a state. This is so because our people are not lazy, nor are we naturally predisposed to crime. We came from a rich heritage and a civilized and proud environment, and we are very hard-working people. If given the right circumstances and growing achievement, we can do the best and using our God talent to make things work for ourselves. Hence, the quest for greener pastures.
Obaseki said the ogbonge success when they record for the first phase, namely to this second phase. A country we salute give Italian government and IOM for their ogbonge collabo when they help bring better things under the states.
We are supposed to find the root cause of this issue. We employ empirical studies and discover that, to a large extent, that the migration of our youth to, in quotes, fetch for greener pastures was sequentially caused by systemic collapse and failure to prioritize developmental initiative over the time, which has worsened by the decay of neglect of youth by successive governments. To address the issue, we embark on a number of reform activities, chief among which is the enactment of Edo State Trafficking in Person Prohibition Bill 2018, which provided the desperately needed legislative framework to tackle the menace. The law provided an effective and comprehensive legal and institutional framework for the prohibition, prevention, detection, prosecution, and punishment of human trafficking and related offenses in the state. After this, we began a very intentional engagement with key stakeholders within and outside the country, particularly in Europe, to explore avenue for support and partnership so as to stem the tide of illegal migration. We went with the aim of finding partners that would assist us in building necessary support structure to keep our people gainfully engaged in the state and also well-skilled to be useful and functional in any society define themselves should they choose to migrate. This led to the launch of a number of programs and projects in the state. In the last couple of years to drive skill development among youth in the state, one of which was the first phase of the Managing Migration Through Development program. We are gathered today for the launch of Managing Migration Through Development 2.0, only because we have had a very impressive and impactful run with the first phase of this project. We are hopeful that the second phase of this program will sustain the gain of the first and further deepen reform in place to make Edo State a place where young people can fully realize their full potentials, given the right support from government and other development stakeholders. Our partners in this project, through the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Development, and also another big one, the International Organization for Migration, have been phenomenal in their support and commitment to finding lasting solutions to illegal migration in the state. It is important for strong partnership when we are all gathered to agree to deal with certain abnormality in our society. They have also provided support and insight that have helped in strengthening our institution to be able to rise up to the occasion in ensuring the victim of human trafficking, seamlessly reintegrated back into society.
Italian ambassador to Nigeria, Stefano De Leo, talks say to sustain this kind of project, partnership and networking, they're very important.
Cooperation between the Office of the Governor, IOM, and all project stakeholders. It's really a pleasure to welcome you here. I would like to highlight some main aspects, I will highlight three, of the vision of the project that Italy implements or finances, and let's implement in collaboration with Edo State government and with IOM. IOM, an organization which is Italy's strategic international partner on migration issues, and with whom we have a long-standing cooperation. First of all, why Edo State? So the question about the location of the project. You know, the majority of the members of the Nigerian diaspora resident in Italy originates from Edo State. And the recent visit of the winner of MasterChef 2022, Tracy Bodi, to Benin City is self-explanatory. A daughter of Edo State who made it back, because you never forget your roots, your family, your friends, especially if you are successful abroad. We know it as Italians. And it's a striking example of the talent and resilience of young Nigerians. If you have a vision, you have skills, you can make it everywhere. So why not to make it here? This is our visions. I have seen how much resilient and talented the new generations are. I've heard about the stories of some returnees. It's impressive how you can make success if you have a vision. And this is why this project is in place. We want to shape this in a vision that has a perspective and is giving you ideas on how to shape your future in your country. What's about managing migration through development so important? Here comes another very strategic point. The objective of this 2-year project is to support and cooperate with Edo State government in strengthening its socio-economic capacity, but also to provide skills and education to returned migrants, vulnerable categories, and to prevent human trafficking by supporting economic and social growth and development, as well as opportunities at home. Let me also highlight one important sentence I have read. It's from the former late President of the United States, John F. Kennedy. There's only one thing in the long run more expensive than education: no education. So if you invest in education, you change also the cost of living, because subsidies will become revenues. And this is also a very important issue we learned as Italians in the past, because we share with you the experience of migration, and many Italians return back. But we also host the biggest Nigerian community in European Union. We don't cite UK, they are out of the European Union, but in the European Union, we host more than 150,000 Nigerians, especially coming from Edo State. And now the third important point, it's sustainability. Partnerships and networks are increasingly important tools to tackle challenging in the long term. And I'm happy to inform you that the governor of Veneto region, you know, the region with Venice, Verona, Padova, it's one of the biggest and most important regions in Italy, where a big number of Nigerians is residing. The president of the region, the governor of the region, Luca Zaia, has expressed his desire to explore opportunities of partnership with Edo State. And I will discuss further with the governor and the government representatives the best ways to move forward in this roadmap. Finally, I would like to wish all of you, all of the partners, success in the implementation of this project, which lasts 2 years, but we look further beyond. We want to see that this project starts a new vision and a new perspective of migration management through development. This is the core business. I'm looking with much more interest for the future developments. And I thank IOM for implementing, together with the government of Edo State, this project, but we don't have to forget all the stakeholders, because without the stakeholders, nothing is possible. You work on the ground, and you are the hands that make everything possible.
Stefano De Leo, Laure De Boe kon be IOM Chief Mission, and Right Honorable Comrade Philip Shaibu kon answer question on top this migration matter.
You have to migrate, but if you migrate, then you enter into an uncertain situation, especially if you have no skills. So it's a vicious circle. What we are trying to do, as you mentioned, cooperation with Italy, we try to bring together Italian institutions with Edo State to make some activities in skills training. As the governor mentioned in his speech, what is needed is education, but also skills. Once you have skills, you can be, of course, able to make a job, to have a job. And to have a job, you need investors who come. So one of the ideas I have in mind is to bring together Edo State with regions in Italy who host already a certain number of Nigerians and who are interested to look to Nigeria, especially to Edo State, because many of those who migrated are from Edo State. So look at Edo State in a perspective of win-win situations. So if Edo State can provide those elements that are needed by Italian companies, the Italian companies could train and employ people. So it would be a first step to create a circle that is not vicious, but that is positive and brings a new momentum. And we are working on this. We need to create opportunities of education and skill. And above on that, we have to base private sector who is willing to invest and to take opportunity of the opportunities that Edo State is offering to those who want to come from abroad and invest in your country and in your state, which offers a lot of things. But these elements have to be brought to the attention of our investors. And once investors come, as we have heard, then others will follow. So the first thing is to make the first step.
My perception of, indeed, the situation, I believe this is a very strong program showing different levels of cooperation. And the most important cooperation is certainly between institutions such as an organization like mine with Edo State and Italy. But all of us, the three of us, are looking at the community level. We have heard Mrs. Okosun from Edo Jobs. She mentioned the importance of listening to the needs of the people and linking the government of Edo support to those at the community level. We have heard one of the entrepreneurs who have started his business after he had a difficult life in Libya. He mentioned he is here receiving support and created jobs. I think those are the best advocates to talk at the community level to people who may have the pressure to go, but it shows examples on the fact that they can be successful without going through this difficult journey, the perilous journey sometimes if they go within Libya or the countries or across the sea. I think those, and that's part of the program, is making their voice known among the entire community. If I say to people, who am I, honestly, to go outside in Edo State, talk to the citizen and say, don't go to Europe, then nobody will listen to me. I hope that the program will provide a strong voice to those people to talk themselves to their peers and saying that the success can be here. But it's not necessarily looking at only and uniquely preventing migration. If migration is a solution, they need the skills that has been emphasized by the ambassador. We need also working on providing the right skills to the people, the right knowledge on what the legal pathways exist, and looking at this private public partnership between businesses coming to invest, created here, and selecting the right persons legally going. And that is also showing this, what I would call the triangle with Edo State, looking at how to partner with private sector here within, coming within Nigeria, but also outside, to open the business, to create the conducive environment for the youth to take the right decision. So if they want to migrate legally, there are pathways to do so, but they need to go with the right skills to be absorbed, integrate, gain that experience, and probably come back and multiply this among their peers.
We are dealing with two scenarios. One is illegal migration. The other one is those that are migrating because of economic issues. Like the Italian ambassador said, I think we need to fix our own system. It's a national problem which we need to deal with. But we are dealing with Edo State, and that is why I said earlier that Edo is one subnational that has taken its own destiny in its own hand to fix what is wrong with our own state. And if all of us subnational are able to do same, the entire country will be good for it. We took an initiative of training nurses, for instance. We know the whole world is short of nurses, and they need nurses. And so that means years to come, you go to any facility in the world, you must see an Edo daughter as a nurse in most facilities in the world. So we are ready to produce nurses for the whole world, for instance. Those are not illegal migrants. Those are migrants that are going to provide services. Just like I said, they are going to provide services. And they will be welcomed like kings when they get to where they are going to provide these services. And when you log into our website, EduJob, you see that most of the people we train, we also match them with jobs, both within and outside the country. We match them with jobs. So we are recreating a new culture of skilled labor, because we dealt with, when we talk about education, we have not been emphasizing on skill education. It has always been certification. And that is why most of our graduates, they say they are not employable, because we have laid too much emphasis on certification as against skilled labor. So we are changing the trend in our own state. One of the partnerships, changing the trend of having skilled labor, training these young men and women to live their dream through God-given talent. We all have those talents inbuilt in us, but we are now bringing it out so that you'll be useful to the society. So the partnership with Iowa and Italian embassy is not just dealing with illegal migration, but helping to solve that root cause of this illegal migration.
Omo Aluke Ajakaye, TMC TV News. No forget your PVC and your power. No tell them give any politician on election day.